Hey everyone. So I'm going live because I'm cutting some bars of charcoal soap today. And the kids are at school, so I have some quiet. And these are charcoal bars, so something that I often do. Hey Jordan. I promised you I do lives. Okay, so something I do first before I cut my loaves is I take my little peeler and kind of get the sides of the loaf, the sharp sides off, because it just saves me that step later. All right, this plastic's not gonna work on there. And I just use a little cheap peeler. You're so brown. And do you hear I'm playing music too in the background like you told me? Giving away all your secrets. So I just kind of peel the edges here. I'm gonna move you a little closer so you can see. So as you can see, when these come out of the loaf, they've got sharp edges. Some people love that kind of rough, sharp edge on the end, but I love beveling. So I use the cheapest peeler. It's the one that does not swivel, and it's plastic and small, and it's my favorite tool. So I just literally go on and just bevel around the whole entire loaf, and that saves me a step later. And I've got 4 of these loaves to cut today. So this particular soap has got activated charcoal, as well as peppermint and star anise essential oils. As you know, I only use essential oils in my soap. I don't use any artificial fragrances. I just choose not to. So let's go ahead and start the first cut. I made these yesterday and they're already ready to cut. Sometimes people will wait a little bit to maybe a little longer, like 2 days to cut, but these ones, this was like exactly 12 hours since I made these. And they are ready, and I'm sure if you think about it, you can guess why. It's because charcoal absorbs excess oils. So what does that mean when you put activated charcoal in a soap? It means that it does absorb those oils that are used to make soap. So for me, I've noticed that they can cut sooner because of that. So I am going, my newest soap, so I'm having a big soap sale with all my soaps from last season. This is gonna be part of the new ones, and I'm really excited because it's been just over a year since I started making soap, and I really feel like I've perfected my formula. So I'm making thicker bars. I lost you. I'm making thicker bars, and my soaps are going to have even stronger essential oil smells as well. So that's exciting. So I don't use artificial fragrance, but I use essential oils. These are really cool. These are little confetti soaps. So it is still the beautiful activated charcoal that is so good for skin. All skin types can use activated charcoal soap, but they are ideal for types that are oily or prone to oily spots, like a combination skin. Or also skin. I love using these as a body bar for people who experience breakouts or congested pores, or sometimes people get those little like dry bumps on their skin. This is a really good body soap to help combat the congestion and blackheads and things like that that people get on their bodies. So it's just a little bits of confetti soap. And when I say confetti, it's pieces from other bars of soap that are shredded off and then mixed into the soap, and it just gives these cool little random designs. This one I went light-handed on it because I just love the inky look of a black charcoal soap, so I didn't want to distract from that beautiful charcoal color that comes just from activated charcoal. So usually in all my soaps I use micas. This one does not have any mica because it doesn't need it because of that activated charcoal. And the charcoal that I use is from coconuts. It's derived from coconuts. So if the word charcoal kind of scares you, Don't be afraid of it. It's still plant-based, still vegan, and you still get all the great benefits of it. Yeah, we call soap, the raw soap when you first get it out is called loaves because many times it's made into a loaf, like a loaf of bread, and you slice it just like bread. So the essential oils are really, the smell's really coming through on these. They are really minty. Because I did peppermint, it's got that great peppermint scent to it, but I also added in that anise, which gives a really, I think star anise can have a really clean smell to it as long as it's not overused. Anise is the smell in black licorice, if you don't know that. So I'm not a fan of black licorice, but I do love the essential oil of anise used in moderation because I think it just, like I said, I think it gives a really nice clean smell, and of course you get benefits of essential oils and aromatherapy benefits and all of those things. So I love mixing star anise with peppermint, some of these more cooling oils, but I also love mixing star anise with orange. I think it smells so good, and so I kind of keep it around as a additive for a lot of my essential oil blends because I think it just gives that little bit of like that grounding kind of scent to it. So again, I'm going to go ahead and bevel the edges here. So this soap will be done curing and ready to go in about 4 weeks, and it will be added to the new soaps like I was just talking about. So I'm really excited because the soaps that are going to be released here in a couple weeks, my other ones that you may have seen, the lavender bar, the white bars, the blue and white, those will all be ready in 2 weeks. And like I said before, I've reformulated. All of my new soaps coming out will be stronger smelling. You'll be able to really get that scent of the essential oils coming through, and still a great moisturizing formula. But I do just feel like I finally figured out that perfect happy spot on my recipe. So all the soaps, with the exception of this charcoal soap, contain white kale and clay, which as you can imagine, clay is really great with its benefits for the skin as well. And so it makes a great addition for soap as well. So as I always start when I'm cutting soap loaves, I cut off this little end piece or heel, and these go into those travel bar sets, or sometimes I just use those to make confetti soap later as well. So again, this one is a confetti soap. This is a black charcoal soap with pieces of the blue and white soap kind of scattered throughout it. So they're all unique, and they all have these cool little designs throughout. And so if you haven't shopped this sale, I still have some more left of last season's soaps. I've got them for really low prices right now because I want to make room for all these brand new soaps coming through in October. I know we're in October, I should say end of October. So if you haven't shopped that sale, go take advantage because the soaps are probably the lowest price that I will ever go on those. And it's automatic, you don't need a discount code. These are I love these. I wish you could smell these through. Oh my gosh, they smell so good. That peppermint, of course, is so nice and clean smelling, but then to add in the star anise just gives it a little added extra to it. And like I said, I am cutting my bars thicker these days, so all the new soaps coming out in the next release are going to be nice thick cut, last you a little longer. And I'm also playing around, I don't know if you watched my other video, but I've got a blue and white soap that's coming out in a couple, I think that one's done in 3 weeks, that I went ahead and cut triangles into, and that way you can kind of easily take them for travel. And they're also just easier to hold. Thanks, guys. So this morning I was thinking, you know how our kids have it so much easier than like our generation, or I shouldn't say easier, but our kids just have this like added buffer of safety in everything they do. So I was taking them to school this morning and we got to the gate, and I have a kindergartner, so, and 2 others, but the other 2 can walk to their class by themselves. But I always walk my kindergartner to her class. And this morning they were like, nope, you can't come in. You have to leave them at the gate. And I was like, oh, okay, is this like, what's going on? And she's like, well, there was I don't even know, something like, there was a lightning warning or something, like a mile from here. And so she's like, we have to get all the kids inside as fast as we can. So you can't walk them in. And I'm like, okay. And I'm thinking, are you serious? Like, when I was in elementary school, we were so excited when it rained. We'd play outside in the rain. Did anyone else do that? Like now it's like, they can't even be outside because there might be lightning. I don't know. I just think it's funny. And I'm totally guilty of it. I definitely baby my kids, but I just think it's weird how we are like way overprotective with the kids these days, it feels like. So that was kind of an eye-opening thing this morning. But, okay. So this charcoal soap is my messiest thing. I try everything to keep this not being so messy, but it's just the nature of charcoal. I'll have to make a charcoal soap live sometime. As you add the activated charcoal in, it's like, you have to be so careful or it just like gets in the air. It's like a puff of black, it's just ridiculous. Okay, so taking this little end off here, again, these little heels, as I like to call it, and I'm gonna go ahead and cut this first one. Why don't I move you so it's a little closer so you can really see that cut. Let's do this. Okay, so as you can see, the little random pieces of other soap curls within the black soap show through to make these cool designs. The top also has some of the curls showing through. And there we go. So something I will say, if you are a soap maker, I always experience with charcoal soap a lot of soda ash on top, which is that white powdery substance that wants to form during the curing phase, or during saponification, I should say. And so something that I do just to save myself a little bit of time is when I have my soap in the loaves, I go ahead and get my steamer out, which I just use an iron with a steam setting. But I get the steamer out and I go ahead and steam off that soap ash before I cut the bars because it just saves so much time. And usually the sides will not have soap ash on there. So that's kind of just a little tip for those of you that are soap makers. And that soap ash, I know some soapers like the look of the soap ash, so they purposely leave it, and I get that. It kind of gives like a rustic feel to the soap. But I personally don't like it very much. I like the shinier look. So here's the last loaf. See how it's all shiny on top? It's because I steam the soaps before I cut them. You get that shiny effect. Also, that's sometimes also called washed soap, that some soapers will wash their bars before they sell them to get that shine on it. So last loaf, pulling it out of my little soft silicone mold. Again, I'm gonna kind of quickly do the messy part and shave off these sides, these sharp edges on the side. They're not super pretty in my eyes, at least. So I just use, like I said, a little cheapest peeler ever, little vegetable peeler, and I just shave off these edges to save myself that step. And I'm gonna have a big cleanup when I turn off this live because I've got pieces of charcoal soap all over the counter right now, but that's okay. At least it's soap, right? And not nearly as messy as when I make charcoal soap. Okay, so let's get to the cutting. And oh my gosh, these smell so good. Whoops. Look at me, I'm trying to be like in the camera for you guys and I'm crowding myself. I'm gonna move some of this. Mise en place, as they say in cooking, get your things in order. I definitely did not practice that before I started this one. Okay, let's do that again. So have you all tried charcoal soap before? And what did you think of it? Could you tell a difference between regular bar soap? If you're watching this after the live is over, leave me a comment and let me know what you think of charcoal soap. I was kind of afraid of it at first because I tend to have really dry skin. So I was kind of worried it would dry me out, but I have to say that I have one in the shower and I use it on days when I am feeling maybe a little bit oilier, or I'm finding that I'm having congestion, breakouts, or maybe blackheads or something like on my back, or my arms, you get those dry bumps, and I'll use the charcoal soap in those spots. Or even, I love it actually for shaving my legs because I feel like it goes in and gets those excess oils out before I shave. But there's something kind of magical about using a black bar of soap, right? It's kind of the opposite of what you think of when you think of soap. So that was my last cut. There's those pretty little confetti pieces in there. And so now what I'll do, I've got all these cut and ready, and I have to say they feel very seasonal for Halloween. They're kind of spooky. They're all black and inky. Like I said, these should be ready in about 4 weeks, and they smell absolutely amazing. If you want to follow when I do soap drops, just go to my website, thecleanbubble.com, and subscribe to the email list, and you will be up to date with all the new soap drops. And also, in closing, I'm having that big sale right now at thecleanbubble.com. Go take advantage and buy those last season soaps for really low prices, because I'm making room for all the new inventory. So thanks everyone for watching. Bye. How do I end this? Okay, like this.